Sometimes one joke is all it takes. One offhand moment on stage or a shaky clip filmed in someone's bedroom, and suddenly the world can't stop watching. People share it, quote it, and pass it around like wildfire, and just like that, a total unknown becomes the name on everyone's lips. In this video, we're looking back at the jokes that did exactly that, the moments that turned ordinary comics into stars. The Bedroom Song. In 2006, YouTube was barely more than a curiosity, filled with grainy clips and random uploads. Then a teenager named Bo Burnham sat in his bedroom, turned on a cheap camera, and started playing piano. The song he uploaded was "My Whole Family Thinks I'm Gay." It was funny in a way that felt new, awkward and a little edgy, but clearly smart. The internet caught fire with it. People passed it around in forums and emails, quoting lines, laughing at the delivery, and asking who the kid was. What made it even more incredible was that Burnham has never played a comedy club, never toured, never even tested this in front of a live crowd. The stage was his bedroom, and his audience was suddenly the whole world. For him, comics needed a shot on late-night TV or maybe a sitcom role to break out. With one song, he cracked the system open. His success led to Comedy Central deals, national tours, and eventually entire specials built on the unique blend of music and comedy he pioneered. That one upload.
My whole family now is shocked. I'm in the closet and the door is locked.
Sitting at a piano in his room reshaped how comedians thought about their path. Next, we've got Bert Kreischer, and his breakout came from something much louder. The Machine. Bert had been performing for years, but it was one bit that set him apart. The tale of his college trip to Russia, where his constant partying led to him drunkenly befriending the Russian mafia. At one point, in the middle of the chaos, he introduced himself as the Machine. Crowds loved it instantly. The story was wild, cinematic, and all packed with detail. They demanded to hear it night after night, and Bert kept telling it, polishing it until it became a routine that people couldn't forget. By the time he filmed it for his 2016 special, it was a fully formed legend. When that clip hit the internet, it blew up. People who'd never heard of him before suddenly knew the Machine. The story grew so iconic, it didn't just become his nickname, it became the title of a Hollywood film based on his life. One drunken story that could have been lost to the past instead became the joke that defined Bert's entire career. Now we move on to Tig Notaro, 4 words that changed everything. On a warm August night in 2012, Tig Notaro walked onto stage in Los Angeles and began with 4 words. "Hello, I have cancer." For a moment, the room froze. The crowd didn't know if it was real or part of a bit. Well, it was real. What followed wasn't a polished routine, but 30 minutes of raw, startling honesty. She spoke about her diagnosis, her fears, and the absurdity of facing tragedy with a microphone in hand. Some people laughed, some cried, and few sat in stunned silence as she turned pain into something strangely uplifting. Word of the set spread almost immediately. Comedians who were in the room described it as historic. Louis C.K. released the recording online, and the response was overwhelming. Tig had been respected before. That night transformed her into one of the most talked about comedians in the world. It showed that comedy could carry the weight of life's darkest moments and still find humor. Those 4 words, spoken so simply, became one of the most unforgettable jokes in stand-up history. From there, Hannibal Buress, the joke that changed history. In 2014, Hannibal Buress was performing in Philadelphia when he launched into a bit about Bill Cosby. He'd been trying it in clubs for a while. This night, someone captured it on video. He didn't pull punches. He said Cosby was a hypocrite and then delivered the line that spread everywhere. "You're women, Bill." The entire room reacted with shock and nervous laughter. Buress moved on, but that clip didn't fade into obscurity. Within days, it went viral, picked up by news outlets across the country. The joke dragged long whispered rumors and allegations into the spotlight, igniting a conversation that had been buried for decades. For Buress, it was surreal. A single bit he never expected to travel far suddenly placed him at the center of a cultural reckoning. As proof that stand-up isn't always just entertainment, sometimes one joke can shift public perception and forces people to confront things they would rather ignore. After that, Ali Wong takes the stage. Baby Cobra's killer line. Ali'd spent years writing for television and honing her craft in small clubs, but in 2016, everything changed when her Netflix special Baby Cobra dropped. Heavily pregnant, dressed in a leopard print dress, she delivered a set packed with ferocity. One line in particular hit like a shockwave. "I think feminism is the worst thing that ever happened to women." The room gasped and then broke into laughter as she turned the premise on its head. It was bold, provocative, and all of it brilliantly timed. That clip raced around the internet, and people who had never heard her name before suddenly couldn't stop talking about her. The image of a pregnant woman delivering some of the sharpest jokes of the decade was unforgettable. Overnight, Ali Wong became a star. Within months, she was selling out theaters, signing book deals, and cementing herself as one of comedy's most fearless voices. Then comes Matt Rife, the Cougar clip. Matt Rife had been performing for years, often with little recognition. Then came TikTok, and with it, the clip that changed everything. On stage, he began riffing with an audience member about dating older women, joking about cougars with a mix of charm and quick wit. The crowd loved it, and so did the internet. That moment, caught on camera and uploaded, shot through TikTok in days. Millions watched, commented, and shared it everywhere. Suddenly, Matt wasn't just another comic grinding in clubs. He was TikTok's favorite comedian, known for his flirty energy and lightning-fast comebacks. Almost overnight, he went from small shows to announcing a global tour. Fans wanted to be in the room, hoping maybe their interaction would be the next viral clip. One playful exchange about cougars became the catalyst for a worldwide career. Now over to Sarah Cooper. The Bleach clip. When the pandemic shut everything down in 2020, comedy stages went dark. Sarah Cooper picked up her phone, turned on the camera, and lip-synced Donald Trump's speeches. She added nothing except her face, which told the story better than any punchline. The one that broke through was her take on Trump's now infamous suggestion about injecting disinfectant. Cooper mouthed the words, paired them with her perfectly timed reactions, and created a joke that didn't need a single extra line. That video was shared millions of times across Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Within months, she had a Netflix special and late-night appearances. Her success proved that a single joke delivered in the strangest of ways could still change a career when comedy clubs were closed. And here comes Theo Von, the pet wolf story. Theo had been on the scene for years, bouncing between reality television, clubs, and late-night sets, but nothing truly clicked. Then came podcasting, where his bizarre storytelling finally had room to breathe. The clip that spread everywhere featured Theo telling a story about a man from his hometown who supposedly had a pet wolf living in a trailer park. It was absurd, delivered with his southern drawl and so uniquely him that people couldn't stop quoting it. That story marked the moment audiences understood Theo wasn't just another comic, he was a storyteller with a style nobody else could replicate. From that point, podcast clips carried him into mainstream success, and theaters filled with fans who first laughed at the line about a wolf in a trailer park. The free specials. Now, when clubs closed in 2020, Sam Morrill and Mark Norman faced a choice. Wait for networks to come calling or take a gamble on themselves. They chose the latter, uploading full specials on YouTube for free. The gamble worked because of the jokes inside those specials. For Sam, it was his deadpan bit about relationships and texting that fans clipped and replayed endlessly. For Mark, it was his super quick subway jokes that ricocheted around social media. Those lines gave millions of viewers a reason to seek out their shows once live comedy returned. By the time the doors reopened, they were playing to packed houses, all because a few jokes from free specials had traveled further than they ever imagined. Finally, Hasan Minhaj and the story that turned heartbreak into comedy gold. The Prom Story. Hasan Minhaj had done well on The Daily Show, but he was still just a comic trying to break through like others. That all changed with one story in Homecoming King. He takes the crowd back to high school. A nervous teenage Hasan, suit freshly pressed, heart racing as he walks up to a girl's front door to take her to prom. Then the door opens, and her parents tell him she can't go with him because he's brown. The room goes quiet. Hasan stands in that silence for a moment, then keeps going, folding the heartbreak into funny lines until the crowd is laughing again. It's honest, it's painful, and somehow still hilarious. And it's the moment Hasan Minhaj stopped being the side character and became the story everyone wanted to hear. Comedy careers can hinge on the smallest spark, whether it's a song written in a teenager's bedroom, a drunken story told on stage, or a 30-second exchange caught on someone's phone. One joke can take a comedian from obscurity to the center of the spotlight. So here's the question. Which of these breakout jokes surprised you the most? And which one do you think is the greatest joke of all time? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more stories like this, hit subscribe, because we've only begun to scratch the surface of comedy's most unforgettable sparks.